Today we're going to learn some basics about HTML. We have been using HTML to run our code, and then that JavaScript executes immediately when we open the page. We want to extend that capability so we can actually interact with the page and make our programs more interesting. There is a lot of information to learn about HTML, and we are only going to learn a very small subset of HTML just so that we can use it to interact with JavaScript. If you want to learn more about HTML, there are some great resources on the web. I would recommend the W3 Schools Intro to HTML course. There's also a Try It page where you can run HTML. If I open that up, and here you can see we have a very basic HTML page. Another great resource is Khan Academy. They have a course called Intro to HTML and a course that follows on to that called HTML/JavaScript, making web pages interactive. So let's take a look at an empty page. I've taken this code from the slide and created that HTML page so we can see it running. This doc type HTML is what's telling the browser to interpret this page as HTML and render the information in it onto the screen through the browser. Well, this empty page I'm showing here has nothing in it. We know that it is running that empty page because it has that title in the tab empty page. And that's where it's pulling the title from, right here. The body of the page has nothing in it, so it has nothing to show. Same thing would happen on our Try It. If we took out the body and ran it, there would be nothing there. So let's look at what each of these elements are. As I mentioned, the !doc HTML defines it to be an HTML document for the browser to know how to process the page. The HTML inside the angle brackets is the root element of the HTML page. Everything goes inside that HTML element. So you can see here that we have an HTML element starting it, and everything in here is inside that HTML element, and it closes here at the bottom with the /HTML. A lot of times we will indent to help make that easier to read. Here I have everything inside that HTML element indented. The next tag that we see is the head tag, and that contains the meta information about the document. Details about what the document is. Frequently people put in a title there. Now that title doesn't have to be displayed anywhere. Most browsers will pull out that title from the head tag and put it up on the tab, as we see here. But it really doesn't have to be. If I do Control-Shift-H and bring up the HTML viewer right inside Atom, you can see it's just empty. So when we were talking about that head element, we also talked about the title element, and that title element is nested inside the head element. So here you can see I indented that title element to show that it was inside the head element, where line 3 is opening up the head element and line 5 is closing the head element. And then the last element we're going to cover for this slide is the body tag. Here our body is empty. Nothing shows on the page. The body defines what is going to be displayed on the HTML page when it's opened in a browser. And so here in this example, where we have a header and a paragraph, inside the body, that information is displayed on the page.